With many surprises, regrets, and drama in the National Basketball Association, who would have ever thought the Denver Nuggets would be the #1 seed in the Western Conference right now? One of the least surprising things were obviously how bad the Knicks, Cavs, and Suns are, the three favorites to land Zion Williamson. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. James Harden has been playing out of his mind. After Houston's slow start, he'll have a chance to win his second straight MVP, while rookie Luka Doncic has been absolutely on a tear, making the Mavs must-watch television as one of the best teenagers the NBA has ever seen. Those are just a couple great storylines, but there have been many bad ones as well, where teams will regret making their poor decisions. Here are the biggest mistakes made by every NBA team this season, starting in alphabetical order with the Atlanta Hawks, who will likely forever regret trading away Luka Doncic after selecting him with a 3rd overall pick in the 2018 draft, trading him to Dallas in exchange for the 5th overall pick Trae Young and a protected 2019 first round pick. While Young's not a bad rookie, it's no guarantee he'll ever be an all-star level type player. While Doncic is by far better, where the Mavs have a chance to finish above 500, the Hawks will still remain one of the worst teams in the NBA. The Boston Celtics, not trading for Anthony Davis. After getting off to a slow start, Boston's currently the 5th seed in the East, might not even have home court advantage in the first round. Looking to figure out their chemistry issues, Jaylen Brown has regressed this season. While Tatum's not quite an all-star level player just yet, it won't be shocking if Boston loses in the second round to either Toronto or Milwaukee. Seeing how those teams are playing this season, the Lakers also appear to be the front runner in signing AD for the future. The Brooklyn Nets, not trading away DeMar Carroll, who hasn't made much of an impact this season, averaging around 10 points coming off the bench at 32 years old, making over $15 million this season, way past his prime days. Playing him only takes away from the younger guys, but Brooklyn does have a bright future ahead. The Charlotte Hornets, not getting star caliber players to surround Kemba Walker. With the team stuck in no man's land, MJ was supposed to surround Kemba with good players, but the biggest signing they made was getting an old Tony Parker. As a result, it won't be surprising to see Kemba leave in free agency. The Chicago Bulls bringing Jabari Parker home, giving him a chance to redeem himself. He basically just sits on the bench now, with head coach Jim Boylan refusing to play him due to his awful non-existent defense. Parker's only part of the problem with a dysfunctional franchise. Already being kicked off the team's rotation, Jabari Parker's NBA career is quickly falling apart. The Cleveland Cavaliers, obviously losing LeBron James for the second time, the organization gave plenty of reasons for LeBron to exit again, failing to bring star caliber players, especially getting ripped off by the Celtics after trading Kyrie Irving in the summer of 2017. The Dallas Mavericks overpaying for DeAndre Jordan, who already ditched the team 3 years ago. Although he's putting up his regular numbers, his salary of $22.9 million is too high, especially when he's rubbed off his teammates the wrong way, what they perceived as selfish play, stole an uncontested rebound away from Luka Doncic, and his lack of effort and help defense is not making an impact the team expected him to. The Denver Nuggets, not trading away Paul Millsap. He was expected to become the team's leader, but the team proved last season they didn't really need him to succeed. The 33-year-old power forward's been hurt the last couple seasons, where it'd probably be better off if the team keeps developing their young core, which would have saved them a lot of money. The Detroit Pistons, not trading Reggie Jackson. Although he's been healthy this season, Jackson missed a combined total of 67 games with injuries the previous two. Is not a pass-first point guard, plays very selfish, doesn't make his team better, and is a terrible fit with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. The Golden State Warriors, not extending JaVale McGee, where the team's been very vulnerable at the center position without Cousins. McGee was a huge factor in both title runs with Dub Nation. The team also has a weak bench, hurting their style of play, while McGee's having a fantastic season as a valuable piece for the Lakers. The Houston Rockets losing Trevor Ariza. Their defense has been terrible at the start of the season, but they've been very hot lately, mainly because of James Harden, who's going bananas, but he's not gonna drop 40 every single night. While Ariza was an important piece where they could have gave Chris Paul less money to sign Trevor back. The Indiana Pacers, not trading away Thaddeus Young as a very solid power forward in the league with his hustle and physical play, who can help a contending team coming off the bench. That's why Indy should have traded him for a nice return. He's also taking minutes away from Domantas Sabonis, who's one of the most slept on talents in the league. The Los Angeles Clippers, using the 13th pick to draft Jerome Robinson, where they don't really need him with their solid backcourt. Robinson spent most of his time in the G League, only played 8 games in the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers, letting Brook Lopez walk away. After LeBron joined in purple and gold, the team desperately needed better shooters and guys who can stretch the floor, where Brook would have provided just that, attempting 7 threes a game. 70% of his shots were from downtown. He even hit 8 threes in the game earlier this season. The Memphis Grizzlies, not trading Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. Most of you might not agree on this, but Memphis started out hot this season. Now slipping off a little bit, the team simply don't have enough firepower to compete in the West, and both will start to age. They'll likely lose Gasol for nothing, and with Conley's huge contract, it will be better off for the team to just rebuild. The Miami Heat, not pursuing Jimmy Butler. Miami was one of Butler's preferred destinations, where they pulled Josh Richardson off the table, who quietly slowed down from his major leap over last season. Not knowing whether he'll ever be an all-star type player, Miami's in trouble of missing the playoffs in D-Wade's last season, where having Jimmy would at least help the team make the postseason. The Milwaukee Bucks, absorbing George Hill's contract. The team was already having a breakout season without Hill, who's a good veteran, but he's way past his prime and still owed almost $37 million, something the team will have to deal with. The Minnesota Timberwolves, handling the Jimmy Butler situation, where Jimmy expressed his frustrations just 4 days after their playoff run ended, but he was still on the roster in September, blown things out of proportion, calling his teammates out at practice. Everything got ugly, but could have been avoided if the team decided to trade him earlier. The New Orleans Pelicans, not getting any quality small forward, where the 6'4" E'Twaun Moore's playing that position right now starting. They started Wesley Johnson to begin the season, but after realizing how ineffective he was, the team simply doesn't play him no more. Darius Miller and Solomon Hill's not a reliable rotation. The New York Knicks, not trading Courtney Lee. Being on multiple trade rumors, he's barely played this season. The team would have gotten good value for him, clearing off their salary books. If the Knicks finally decide to trade him now, don't expect too much in return. The Oklahoma City Thunder, not getting any good 3-point shooters. OKC simply doesn't have enough good 3-point shooters that can knock down big time shots other than Paul George and sometimes Russell Westbrook, but with Russ's inefficiency shooting the ball, guys like Jeremy Grant and Terrence Ferguson are great defenders, but not good outside shooters. The Orlando Magic, holding on to their veterans. As a team that's looking to rebuild and focus on their young players, guys like Nikola Vucevic and Terrence Ross, who's been in the league for a while now with expiring contracts, shouldn't be on the team. They're taking plenty of minutes away from guys like Mo Bamba and Jonathan Isaac, where it's better to develop those guys now than later. The Philadelphia 76ers, not recovering Markelle Fultz, who still has plenty of time to prove he can be a good NBA player. After doctors reveal he has an injury due to a nerve condition, Fultz's injury situation for the last year and a half seems to get stranger and stranger, where he's becoming more of a distraction. Not sure when he will come back. I won't be surprised if he doesn't play another game for Philly again. The Phoenix Suns, not getting a point guard, which is hurting their team big time. With no playmaker, it's hard to understand why the team just refuses to pursue any point guard. DeAnthony Melton's simply not the answer. The Portland Trail Blazers, pursuing too many wings this offseason. The team simply doesn't need that many guards on their team. With Dame and CJ playing most of the minutes, they drafted rookie Anthony Simmons, traded for Gary Trent Jr., who barely plays. Both are guards. Added Nick Stauskas and Seth Curry, who hasn't contributed much, where Portland will either miss the playoffs or get bounced in the first round. The Sacramento Kings, not drafting Luka Doncic. Marvin Bagley seems like he's got plenty of potential, but he doesn't look like a franchise-changing type of guy yet and is not ready to make the impact Doncic is making. Luka playing on the Kings alongside the Aaron Fox would be a playoff team in the West this season. The San Antonio Spurs, chasing satisfaction. The team will never be the same after losing Kawhi Leonard, where they got 29-year-old DeMar DeRozan, who's a good player but won't lead the team that far. They'll either be a first-round exit or will just miss the postseason. Coach Pop will likely see his final years of coaching, where he still wants to be competitive, but getting potential building blocks would have been better off for the franchise long term. The Toronto Raptors, poor communication with the DeMar DeRozan situation, where DeMar thought he wouldn't be moved. He felt betrayed by team president Messiah Ujiri. Although it was the right business decision, it wasn't the cleanest transaction. Besides that, everything's been going well for the team this season. The Utah Jazz, overpaying for Dante Exum, signing him to a 3-year $33 million contract. He comes off the bench, plays only 16 minutes a game, not a good scorer who lacks outside shooting. Despite him being healthy this season, Exum's been injury prone in the past, who hasn't shown a lot of promise. The Washington Wizards not improving their roster. Everything's going wrong with the Wizards this season. Now with John Wall deciding to shut down the season, moving Kelly Oubre, and with Dwight Howard's crazy off-court scandal, this team's arguably the biggest disappointment in 2019. Thank you so much for watching this video. I talk NBA comparisons, amazing storylines, NBA history, and anything basketball that will interest you. If you love the NBA, subscribe for more content, more great stuff coming soon. See you next time.